Hey guys, welcome back to the pod. Today we have Stevie from Oxley and Erin. How should I address you?
Erin.
No,
Yes.
sorry, as in, are you a collector? How would you like to be known?
Basically it's like seller and collector.
Oh, okay. So you almost like you trade and you resell cards,
Yes, of course.
right?
But
So,
I do have my own
yeah.
collections. Yeah.
So maybe that's the first question I want to ask as a collector. How do you decide which card you want to keep and which card you want to sell?
Okay, actually, I collect mainly Pikachu. Big collector of Pikachu. Not so big lah.
So you have all the ponchos? Not yet.
Sort of.
Oh, so wow. So what you mean by that is not all 10, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I mainly collect raw. I prefer collect raw because my house with 3 kids and all that. It's like it's easier to collect the raw in the binder.
Wow, we have a grader here.
Yeah.
Not music too easy.
Because if we if I send it and then I need to have one display.
Oh,
Yeah, because all that maybe later when they grow up.
okay.
So I will send because actually to be honest, most of my cards is like potential 10 actually.
Okay, I wanna go into that and how you source all these quality raw cards later on. But I want to start with both of your story before coming into TCG. So maybe Stevie, you can share with us how did you get into the TCG scene, or maybe before that, like what do you do? Have you always been into TCG, things like that?
Actually, what brought me back into the scene, like a lot of people, is during the pandemic. People were bored at home,
Yeah.
bored and stuck at home, and then nothing to do. So, cards was one of the things.
Move your mic a bit closer here, just a bit, yeah.
Yeah. So people were stuck and bored at home. So one of the ways to cope was opening packs.
Yeah.
So that's what drove all these prices up. And the set that brought me back was actually Celebrations, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
2021, I haven't been in the scene for a long time, and then I saw the card. I was like, wait, that looks like exactly
The
like
OG,
the original
OG,
one.
yeah.
Yes,
but a lot cheaper.
a lot cheaper. Yeah.
Way
So
cheaper.
That's what brought me back in the
Yeah.
first place, and then the following set was actually Evolving Skies.
Of course, that.
So that's one of the most iconic
Yeah.
ones.
It is.
So that's what brought me back into the hobby.
But it sounded, you say that you came back. That means you were collecting before, maybe when you were a lot younger.
When I was younger, I'll be honest, I did not have a binder that I can recall. Yeah, but I was just opening packs for fun, for the thrill of it.
Yeah. But I'm just curious, during the pandemic, there was the whole lockdown thing. How did you all get the packs? Or it was after the lockdown?
That's the thing. During the lockdown, everyone was fighting for the same supply. That's why the prices got so inflated, and it was just hard for collectors and then for everyone to get packs to open with.
Right. And today you're a grader. Is that something that you do full-time or you have a part-time thing?
Grading is something I do on the side. I do have a full-time thing going
I
on.
see.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So for Erin, life before TCG?
Actually, life before TCG, I was full-time human resource.
You have a human resource.
Yeah.
Energy.
Under integrity.
Yes.
Integrity. So it's like after that, during pandemic, retrench and all that. So I quit and then I take care of my kids. And after sometimes, my daughter came back from her schools. He shown the fake cards of the Pokemon. Mommy, Daddy, look at this. We was like,
This will be your daughter, right?
yeah, my daughter, the eldest one. So it's like, my friend selling it for 3 ringgit. It's like, this one is fake. But then her father
But
is
how
like,
do you know it was fake? That means you were collecting before.
her father actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But then her father is like, wait until I show you the true one. And then we go search for the card shop, and I think the one the nearest with us by that time is Gaya, located at Sri Petaling.
Gaya,
So
okay.
we went there and buy, and starting from there, it's like I was like, she want to play the TCG. So we were searching for the card and all that, and I find it very difficult to source for the right card at the right price. So starting from there, it's like, what if I can get this? Because I have a few friends that are studying at US and UK, all that. So I might need their helps to do it. Yeah.
I see. So you're saying that these friends in the UK and US will help you source.
Yeah, sure. Because everyone know that US, especially US and UK, they have a lot of card shops.
Yeah.
So it is very easy to get the supply.
So if I'm hearing correctly, it was mainly your kids, right? When they brought this fake card, and then you
Yes.
say, no, let me get the original one
Yeah.
for your kids, and then suddenly now it's for yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So going back to the earlier question of create, how do you why do you have so much confidence that when you get the raw cards, it can be, you know, 10s or at least 9s?
Oh, because actually, I asked my friend also, if you can find something that is like very nice and very like
Near mint.
very raw, yeah. It's like crispy, you know. It's like crispy. Then it's okay. You just deal it, and if you can find the steals one, just take it.
Okay. So, but you mainly collect Pikachu's, correct?
Yes.
No other.
Charizard a little bit, and like something like tag team. Yeah.
Okay.
Before this, Pikachu evolution, tag team, and trainer. But then I find
Expensive.
it is expensive and little bit more to complete the collections.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's why I stick to one. I decide want to stick with
Yeah.
Pikachu and sell others.
But if you only collect Pikachu, you won't have others to sell, right? Like, or do you actually look at others just to buy and then resell it?
I just look at others and resell it.
I see.
Because I'm jobless. So yeah, it's like some kind of ways to
Make money.
increase make money and increase the house income. Yeah.
Has doing this sort of replace your income when you're back in HR?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yes. Huh?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, Steve, why is Oxley, right, for you is still part time?
Because the one Oxley is actually based in Singapore. Yeah, and I was actually approached by them they invited me to run things over here in Malaysia lah. So in a way, I'm just earning that commission based
Right.
increment. Yeah.
Then what prompted them to approach you, you feel?
Back in 2021, when I first started grading, I was actually one of their first submitters. So then back then there were not a lot of choices here in Malaysia, and then I thought, why not bring something more affordable and increase availability for people who want to grade here.
Right. But you mentioned something more affordable. What do you mean? That it was very expensive to do it yourself?
Just not to say to do it yourself.
Okay.
Because the big three grading companies, PSA, Beckett, and CGC, they are thousands of miles away in the US. So in order to ship that, you need to incur
Shipping
logistic
fees,
costs,
Tag,
taxes along the way. So when you have like one card that you just want to send, it doesn't make sense to send just one card over all the way to the US. So the idea is that having group submissions, you save on all these relevant costs along the way lah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but it's still something that you do part time, right? Do you intend to do this full time?
Probably not.
How come?
Yeah. I would say I'm quite comfortable in my current full time at the moment, and grading is just something like
Right.
I enjoy as a side, not just as a side income, but also as a side hobby.
Yeah.
Helping people get the grades they want, and just bringing affordable grading in.
So when someone, how would you advise collectors to, like Erin, with a lot of raw cards, one, how do you advise them to sort of keep them well? And then how would you then advise them to decide which card they should grade?
See, when people come to me for grading, I always ask them this question. What's your intention in grading? Is it just to encapsulate the card and protect it forever, or is it you want to increase the value and potentially flip the card? Yeah. So then, if it's number one, you just want to protect it, then you can just send anything you like. Some people just like the card protected, so then they don't care the whatever grade they get.
Yeah.
And then the second point, if you want to flip the card and increase the value, you obviously have to look at only good condition cards and perhaps more expensive ones. So maybe you can filter those more valuable ones that are in
to make it more worth it.
more good condition. Yeah, because in the grading world, people know they only want 10s.
Sure.
That's true.
So then if it can potentially get a 10, why not send it for grading and increase the value?
So how do you, for example, I hear things like if there's like a small crease in the card, then people will put it in between two big books, a Quran or a like a encyclopedia. Do things like that work? Like, what tips do you have? Practical tips to help people like improve?
Okay, in terms of fixing the card, I think it's quite hard unless you're saying like it's a fingerprint or like some dust stuck on the card on the basically exterior of the surface. But if it's imprinted on the card or if it's properly creased, I think it's quite hard to fix it lah.
Right.
And we would highly suggest sort of fixing it because it's actually against the grading company's rules to say So if they found out that you've altered the card, they will sort of say, okay, we're not going to grade this and reject the card back to you.
Right.
So probably not advisable to fix the card lah.
And what are some of the big mistakes that you see collectors make when it comes to the condition on their cards?
In terms of
keeping it in mint condition, and
I see.
And also, do you get debates with your clients, right? They think
Surely.
they think it's a 9 and actually no, it's not.
It happens all the time actually.
Yeah.
Because grading is
It's quite subjective also sometimes.
exactly
right?
grading is there's the human error part of it, and there's some may argue there's human emotion. I always say
100%.
it depends on the grader's mood on the day itself. Yeah, so then sometimes I help them check the card and it's perfectly mint, no creases, no dents, no whitenings, and I say, okay, this is a confident 10. But then it comes back at 9, maybe because the grader was having a bad day, who knows?
Yeah.
But then sometimes also I say, okay, there's like a bit of whitening here.
Yeah.
It's not that well centered. And I say, okay, this is likely going to be a 9. But then they try it anyways, and it comes back a higher grade, a 10.
Really?
Yeah, so then, human factor is a big
Happens a
part
lot.
of grading.
So when you look at like the condition of the cards, right? Of course, Beckett gives like subgrades and things like that.
Yes.
But I mean, there's a little bit more than that. So how would you rank the subgrades, right? Which one will you prioritize? And the reason I ask this is because I think as a collector, we also want to know what are the top things we need to take care of.
Sure.
Right.
Maybe I'll break down into the two major companies, PSA and
Beckett,
Beckett.
yeah.
So for PSA, they don't have subgrades, and it's a scale from 1 to 10 with no 0.5s, unlike Beckett. Yeah, so I would say PSA is the most lenient out of the three companies, out of the big three companies lah. So then I think one of the big things they look out for is dents and creases. Yeah, so for example, in a card, if they spot even a minor dot or minor crease, they will bump it down straight to a 6. So there's no 7, 8, 9. Not possible. Yeah, so then dents and creases are important. Centering is quite important for them as well. So
you said right on top is dents and creases and then followed by centering.
I would say so, yes. And then followed by surface of the card, if there's any print lines, any scratches, and then followed by
Whitening.
edges and corners. So stuff like whitening, perhaps a small dink. Yeah. So that's for PSA. For Beckett, so I'm not sure if you know, Beckett is probably the
most stringent, yeah.
Strictest.
among the three. Yeah. So they have
The hardest.
4 criterias: centering, surface, edges, and corners, and they will grade 4 of these individually. Yeah. So then for Beckett, I would say, even for example, for centering, even if you're off by that tiny millimeter, they will minus the mark and give you the 9.5. Yeah. Similar for edges, if they see a tiny dot, yeah, where PSA will probably give a 10, Beckett will probably deduct the 0.5 for you.
Right.
Yeah, so then that's why the elusive black label is so expensive and so hard to get.
Right.
Yeah. So then for collectors, I think, especially when you're buying online, right, I think the easiest way to look out for is probably centering. Yeah. Because from pictures, you can't really check
Yeah.
surface, right? So then centering is easiest to check out for. And then number 2, you can probably ask on, if there's any whitening. Whitening is also quite easy to spot through pictures. And then obviously dents and creases is also important.
Right.
Yeah.
So Erin, give us your tips to find all these top raw cards and that they are in very good condition.
Okay, basically it's like, for me, buying online is like more to like gamble, I think. Yeah, because even though sometimes we see the seller already showed this cards, and we bought it, but they possible to do the switcheroo, they swap the card. Yeah.
You experienced this before?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Wow.
So it's like very, very, it's like gamble. Because some of the cards I get it at steal's price. So
What price, sorry?
Steal's price. It's like way cheaper than the
Steel.
Oh, steel. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's like way cheaper than, I don't mind. But some of the cards also is like I happen to be scammed by one Hawaii guy. It's like poncho. It's like 8,000 for that. And then when I return back the fake card, he says that he did not receive it. Eventually, when I ask people, I already blast it already to my friends, all that, and I ask people, then it is the way he do the stuff lah. He already get used. He always threaten to them, if you blast it, you won't get refund.
So I want to go to tips later on how you do all this, find all these deals online. But would you say that's your worst experience?
Yeah, that's my worst.
Yeah.
The biggest one. It's like
There's a kapchai right there.
yeah, it was like 8.8K just lost like that.
Tough. But yeah, so specific that's for international. We'll go there a little bit later on. But for Malaysia,
Okay.
I assume you on Facebook a lot. Maybe some Telegram groups where people, or WhatsApp groups where people are willing to trade and buy and all that. What are your top advice for people when it comes to dealing? Because I remember when I started, it's like there's a fear, because like you say, there are people who are either from other states or even within Klang Valley where it's far away, and then they don't want to cash on delivery, so they want to send it to you. Then you're like, oh, but will you pack it properly? And then all the other things that you say, maybe they switch, or they do things like that. So what advice do you have for like new collectors who are online finding all these deals?
Okay, at first, for sure you have to vouch for seller. Okay.
Okay.
You have to buy from not very well known. It's like he have done selling and all that before. If the first time he want to sell everything, it's better to do the COD, cash on delivery, meet face to face.
If he wants to sell everything, it's better to
Yeah.
COD.
Yeah, if he sell, he is the first time seller. He haven't sell anything yet, and you want to deal with him because, basically it's like, for the someone that want to sell everything at once, and also, the first time seller, they will be like, they will not follow the TNT like time 4 and
Yeah.
all that. They will be like lump sum of the price. It's like, take it like 200. I know it's a good bargain, but then you have to be careful if it might be a scammer, might be cheater or anything. So it's better you do the cash on delivery. Yeah, so that you meet with him and you face to face, and
Then you check the card,
Yeah,
yeah.
you check the card by the condition, by the legit of the cards. Yeah.
Wow. So is that one of the biggest mistakes that people make, which is they do not do COD for people who are not vetted yet?
Sure. Because in the Facebook group, I've seen a lot of them being scanned off, and then it's like, yeah, eventually it's their mistake also, because they know that it is not logic price to get those
too low.
cards. Yeah, too low. It's too low. Then why would you take the risk to get it shipped? Because sometimes they will claim that they stay Sabah, Sarawak,
Yeah,
Labuan, and all sorts of that. Yeah.
That's true. So when I'm sure you own graded cards as well,
Some of it, not too much.
right?
Yeah.
So you said earlier on that it's mainly right now your kids where you do not want to go graded because of all these things. When do you feel is the right time, at what age and things like that?
Maybe after my kids, the youngest is like 5 years, like that. Understand enough that card is like
Yeah.
valuables, not to touch, not
That's
to mess
correct.
with it. Yeah.
We have we interviewed Eddie.
Okay, Eddie Fazli.
Last week, and then he said he put he collects One Piece, so he put a manga. So he left it on the table. When do something, he came back. He saw the son put the cup of water on top of the
Oh
one.
my God.
He think it's a coaster. So let's just say it's not a 10 anymore, lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because if I collect in raws, and then I can keep the binder, the
That's
fulls of the binder safe. Safe in like cupboard or what. Because if I grade it, it will take much space, a little bit more space than the.
Understand.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about trends that you are seeing now. So as a grader, you can have a good pulse on the market in terms of what is in demand, not just for the type of TCG, but also inside the TCG, the top cards that are being graded. What trends are you seeing now?
What trends am I seeing? Okay, so basically, 2023, we saw a big pump in the Japanese Pokemon scene. Yeah, but then it has come down quite a lot.
Yeah.
And recently in Malaysia, I think what's taking over is One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, One Piece is up and coming, even though it's only a 2-year-old game. Yeah, but on our side, we are seeing a lot more One Piece graded compared to, Pokemon before.
What are some of the numbers? Not the number of cards, but like a percentage.
You mean ratio?
Yeah. Let's say, yeah.
Okay. Last year during the peak, perhaps you're seeing something like 80% Pokemon, maybe 10% One Piece, 10% others, and nowadays I think it's close to close to 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, One Piece is up and coming.
It's crazy, yeah.
And the collector base is
It's
getting
growing.
larger by the day. Yeah.
And the series is not over yet. That's
Exactly. Yeah. And the cards are coming up like on a monthly basis. So
That's true.
it's very hard to keep up.
That's true. And what do you say are some of the differences grading these two? Because these two are the biggest, right? And then the next one is, I don't know, what's number 3? Magic or...
Number 3, I would say
Dragon Ball. Is it?
Dragon Ball is up and coming as well.
Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Not
Locana,
so much.
yeah.
Yeah. Locana is not so popular here.
Right.
Yeah. So, but in terms of grading, between the two biggest ones are One Piece and Pokemon. One Piece is done by Bandai, so then their card quality is actually insanely good. Yeah, that's why whenever we see a copy that's in a very pristine condition, we usually just advise customers just to try for the black label, because the black label is on average 3 to 5 times the more expensive than the PSA 10 copy. Yeah.
So on that point, 2 questions. What is it about the One Piece cards that are the conditions are generally better? What are you referring to when you say that?
Because it's Bandai usually, from my experience, their card quality is usually quite good. Yeah, so then if you compare that to Pokemon, especially the English cards, I'm sure everyone knows the conditions are just not great, right?
Yeah.
You have whitening on corners, sharp cutting.
Yeah.
So then all these discount to the fact that it's just not possible to get a black label in Pokemon for English. Yeah. For Japanese, maybe a different story,
Yes.
but then still harder to grade compared to One Piece.
What I hear, I don't know whether this is true, what I hear a lot, and this is a very Japanese thing, they always leave the best for Japanese stuff. Even my friend who works for a certain air conditioner company, which I will not name, but Japanese, okay, he said the same thing, that the technical capabilities of the air conditioner you get in Japan is better than the ones you get here. So I don't know if something similar for cards. Like English and Korean or Chinese is not as good, but the Japanese one is the best quality. And we can see it's very obvious, right? In the 151, I always give people the example of the Squirtle SIR. It will show them.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Exactly.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, English and Japanese, and I think this has always been the case. Even for you get back all the way to vintage, you look at the, let's say PSA 10. PSA 10 population for Japanese vintage is much higher compared to English vintage. So all the while, it's been the case, and it will always be the case for English and Japanese cards.
So going back to the BGS conversation, I think that's interesting, and that's something that I myself want to get into as well. So it's really education for me, because most of my slabs are, just basic PSAs, and then I've got some. I think that there's this Australian company, I can't remember.
BCG.
BCG, yeah. So anyways, how do you... So sometimes you look at the card, let's say One Piece, and it's worth grading for BGS. But is there... what are the price differences? Like, let's say for every $1 that I give PSA, how much more... if someone wants to grade the card, how much more do I need to pay to get BGS?
Grading price-wise, at least for Oxley side, PSA starts at 130 ringgit per card. Yeah, whereas Beckett starts at 210 per card. So it's you need to pay slightly higher.
And this is regardless of the potential value of the slab?
Value-wise, PSA has different tiers for their charges. Yeah, but Beckett there's no value differentiation. Yeah, so you can send. It's the main difference is just speed. If you want it back faster, you pay more. If you can wait, then you pay the 210.
Okay, so let me repeat. So Beckett is 200.
210.
210.
Yeah.
210. So it's call it 50% more expensive.
Roughly.
But it's flat no matter what the value you're gonna get.
Correct.
But you said the sacrifice is the speed. But what give me a sense of the speed difference.
You mean among the bracket tiers? Or
No, let's say compared to PSA.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would say it's roughly the same. PSA bulk currently you're looking at 45 business days, so that's around 2.5 months. Beckett, the cheapest tier, 210, also around 2.5 months.
Right.
So I would say it's quite fast nowadays compared to the pandemic times. Yeah.
Right. So if you want to speed things up to receive it faster, how much do you have to pay and what are the
For
fees like?
PSA, there is a lot of tiers actually, but the next tier up would be a tier called Value Plus. So you pay slightly more, $290, and that will be back with you in about a month's time. Yeah, and then the next tier up will be PSA Regular. So that's 500 ringgit per card, and that's for if you want to grade expensive cards like ponchos, like mangas. Yeah, and that will be around 2-3 weeks time. Yeah.
So then BGS?
BGS, the next tier up would be standard, so that's around 1.5 months, 1 to 1.5 months.
Okay.
And Express would take around 3 weeks. Yeah.
I see.
But a big part of it is because you need to account for shipping to and from
Yeah.
US, which takes time lah.
Would you say that, speeding things up really only matters to people who want to flip?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Especially with One Piece coming out with sets every month, right? And typically what you're seeing is that the cards peak
Yeah.
upon release and they start dropping. So then some people actually don't mind paying for that speed to flip
Yeah.
that extra upside lah.
I understand. So for yourself, Irene, what trends are you seeing in terms of collectors?
In terms of collector, actually, yeah, for sure that I have seen that One Piece is like getting bigger and bigger nowadays. But personally, I still think that Pokemon, I like somehow will be like stable, not
Yeah.
too down and not too
That's
up,
right.
just like stable all the way. It's like One Piece more to like hype. Yeah, because of the manga and all sorts of that, right? Yeah, but Pokemon is like true collector. It's been like since 1990, right? 1990, 1999.
Yeah, the
yeah.
cut, yes.
Yeah, the card. So it's like they have their own collector, and also One Piece also have like their own collector. So Pokemon will be like survive in these hype things. Yeah.
Sure. So for within Pokemon, like what trends are you seeing? Because I have to say, you guys can correct me and disagree. 2023, the sets I think are a bit better than 2024. Do you all agree with that?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
In terms of evolving Skyfish.
No, like last year. Last year
Yeah.
was what?
Crown Zenith.
Crown Zenith
Zenith.
151.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Lost Origin,
Lost Origins.
Silver Tempest.
There is
Silver Tempest.
way more better. Yeah.
Yeah, but share with me like the upcoming sets. What was it? What Stellar Crown, right?
Yeah,
That-
Stellar Crowns.
How do you feel about the past one or two sets?
I mean, it's like it is useful for those who playing trading card,
Yeah,
but for the collector, it's like less hype already because when they see the chaser of the set, it's like, what is this? What is this Pokemon? Why would they do like this? Like most of them like that. They prefer like the OG's one, and also the arts like example the Giratina from Lost Origin. Like it's like way stunning like compared to this nowadays sets. So it's like
yeah,
then most of us is like do not too chasing
Yeah.
For this the latest one lah.
Right.
It's like just read for fun, not really crazy into each of the sets.
But I'm sure you are quite excited for the one that's upcoming, right? There's a Crystal Pikachu.
Yeah, of course that
What
one.
sparks already? I forgot already.
Terra Sparks, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The UPC upcoming. I already placed the pre-order for it.
Nice. Yeah, because I was when you say Pikachu, that's the first thing I thought. The upcoming one looks
Yeah.
looks not too bad.
Yeah, looks not too bad, but I don't know. I did not expect anything because I afraid I will be
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
So what you talk about your Pikachu collection. What is missing right now?
Actually, there is a lot of missing because
Of course.
if you know, Pikachu is very big arts. It's like, even though it's like the Pokemon from the Pokemon Center is very hard to find. It's like the most expensive is like Battle Fiesta
2016.
16, the one that have the Mitsuhiro Arita
Mhm,
signage with the Mew, right?
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah, there was be like a pair of that. It's like PSA 10, both of it is like 15,000 K
Each.
each.
Oof.
Yeah,
Yes.
USD.
No, 15,000 ringgit.
Ringgit, yeah. But yeah.
So of course, as a collector, you want to collect them all. But is there one Pikachu card that you really want right now?
That thing.
That one.
That one.
Got it.
It's very hard to get and very pricey.
Fair enough. I just have one last question on grading before we move on to the last bit. And that is people who get back, say, or they buy a PSA 10 and then crack it open and they set it to BGS. How often does that happen? And is that something advisable in your opinion?
Okay, a PSA 10 definitely doesn't mean it
Yes,
can be translated
exactly.
into a Beckett
Damn.
black label. Yeah, but most of the time, you can sort of check through the case, whether it's black label worthy. But then usually I would just advise against it, especially when it's already in a PSA 10. Yeah, unless you're a risk taker and you want to just go for it.
But why is it a risk? Because, okay, so the thinking would be, hey, it's already graded by another company, the highest grade. I look at it, maybe I get a professional opinion and you say, yeah, the condition is pretty good. I crack it open properly to not damage the card further. And then resend straight away. I can even crack it right in front of you or at Oxy, and then straight away I can get it for you guys. Why is that a risk?
Because Beckett is super, super strict. So sometimes, even though you check through the case, the PSA 10 case, and you see it's really pristine, but then sometimes Beckett just has their way of saying no, and they will give you a 9.5. And that has happened to us before. Yeah, because some of our submitters, they obviously black label is the highest of the highest
Tier,
and people want to try for that. So some of them have actually tried what you mentioned, cracking PSA 10 and sending it to Beckett, and I'll say most of the time it's unsuccessful. Yeah,
So as a rule, just don't.
unless you want to take the risk and just go for it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But you have to keep an open mind.
Yeah, but you yourself as the grader would never say, like, there are no conditions where you, I mean, of course the risk and all that, but you would never say, like, you know what, if I were in your position, I would try for this one. Have you ever given that advice before?
Definitely. I check thousands of cards
Yeah.
every week, every month, and when I see a really pristine card, a perfect card, perfect centering, I'll always advise people just to try for it. Yeah, so
Fantastic.
it depends on the card.
So just at the end, with this podcast is sponsored, right, by Tcgkl. Have you all been to Tcgkl events?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Share with us your experience, the good and the bad.
The bed is like.
Okay, don't have. Okay, next.
Sorry. Any of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
But yeah,
the good thing is like we can meet up with those buyers and
Yeah.
all new potential buyer, because not many people know me also, because sometimes they support the TikTok shops. Okay, TCGkl also have TikTok shop vendors. So when they go there to support their TikTok shops vendors, they will be like, when they go around, they see, hey, which account are you on TikTok? I said, I'm not doing on TikTok. I mainly go on Facebook. So if you want
I've seen your name many times. So now I say, oh, it's a real
Yeah.
human, not a bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what, yeah, sorry, Stevie, your turn.
Oh, good. I mean, upcoming one, a lot of exciting things to look forward to.
November.
We have Arita coming for Pokemon. We have
For sure.
we have Julian coming from Magic, and
Sunohana.
Sunohana.
obviously a big variety of
One
vendors
Piece.
to look for. Look out
Sunohara
for.
also.
And yeah, and more importantly, people coming from all over the world. Just now mentioned
Yeah.
from Singapore, Thailand,
Everywhere.
US. Yeah, so you get to meet a lot of people, interact with them, negotiate, trade, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you like to see more from TCG? Either as an improvement, or something new that would, make you go like, wow.
For me, perhaps I would like to see more variety from the vendors.
Yeah.
I see.
Because in the past shows that I've attended, I've noticed a lot of people are selling the same things, in terms of packs or seal products. So I would like to
also like
yeah,
mystery bag.
mystery packs.
yeah.
So yeah, just be
Yeah,
creative.
Sorry, I have to ask this.
Yeah.
As a Malay and Muslim, do you feel that sometimes this is like judi?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you, I don't know if you've spoken to your ustaz, but is this prohibited or is...
Actually, regarding this thing, I rather not to touch anything because I will it will be like a sensitive topic actually.
Understand.
Yeah, but for me it's like judi, but somehow it's like, when we kids, like we go to the shop behind our schools, like Alibaba and Tikam there.
Yes,
it's
yes.
like that already. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think last week we spoke to Eddie. He said that the intention is very important. If the intention is you want to open and then so you can get the manga or the chase card and then you sell it, then that's where. But if you just do it for fun, not as.
Yeah.
But that's his view, right? It's not official view or anything. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being on the podcast. How did you find your first experience?
Great.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, where can people find you if people want to find you?
Okay.
Oh, I'm Stevie. I mainly operate on Facebook, and you can find us on Instagram as well at Oxley Grading.
And Erin?
And for me, mainly for Facebook, Erin Rosley. Just follow Erin Rosley, and then I will be one of the vendors in the incoming Tcgkl.
Ooh.
Okay, so don't forget.
Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.